Hello, I'm Dr. Robert Cialdini, founder of the Cialdini Institute for Influence. I want to introduce you to one of my licensed and certified coaches, Patrick Vanderburgt. Patrick is a valued coach of the Cialdini Institute and has completed all the necessary course requirements to help you and your team understand and apply the scientifically proven universal principles of influence.
Hello and welcome. Thank you for your interest in the topic of ethical persuasion for your upcoming educational events. Let me start with two examples of what persuasion science can do without having to lie or cheat. A colleague of mine consulted with a real estate office, and he'd realized that the receptionist was not mentioning something that there could be when handling inbound phone calls and transferring those to the best suited agent. A single sentence was added to what the receptionist would say, with truthful information that nearly everyone in the office knew. As a result of this one sentence, appointments booked went up by 20% and signed contracts went up by 15.5%. McDonald's. A fair, formidable organization, wouldn't you agree? No shortage of budget or people to develop processes or advertising campaigns, right? Well, they wanted to know if they could increase dessert sales. One of my colleagues worked with 600 McDonald's restaurants in South America. It was identified that a single sentence worth of information should be added to what was said in the drive-thru and at the counter. McDonald's knew about this truthful information, but they never knew how valuable it was or where to use it. It produced a 52% increase in dessert sales across the category and saved them millions of dollars of profit each year that they didn't even realize they had been losing in all the years before. If McDonald's is suffering such losses, what are the chances that smaller companies are suffering similar losses and they are not even aware of it? My name is Patrick Vanderburgt, and I would argue that you have found something that is not only ethical and exceedingly powerful, but it is also a much recognized and in-demand skill. The World Economic Forum issued a report in 2023, The Future of Jobs. Within it, they placed leadership and social influence, which is another word for ethical persuasion, as the number 4 priority skill that businesses need to develop in their workforce. In January 2025, the next version of the report was released, and it had been bumped up to priority number 3. In a world where AI has made its entrance and things are very uncertain, it is our interpersonal skills that continue to have a big impact on our results, but are also skills that we need no matter what happens. What is ethical persuasion? Persuasion skills are crucial in business. Every time you hope to convince someone else about what you are proposing, your success rate will depend on your team's persuasive abilities. Clearly, this has a big impact on sales and advertising, but not exclusively. Far from it, actually. Leadership, HR, PR, marketing, customer service, getting the bills paid on time, lead generation, websites, presentations, negotiation skills. It all depends on our ability to convince others. What too many business owners don't know is that there is a science to how people are persuaded. And this science was made more mainstream by my business partner, Dr. Robert Cialdini. He wrote Influence, the Science of Persuasion. which sold 7 million copies in 48 different languages and is considered by top CEOs to be the best business book of all time. Dr. Cialdini's work is praised by Fortune 500 companies and by leading educational institutions like Harvard. I am certified by Dr. Cialdini, who is now past 80, and personally recommended by him to assist businesses in mastering this effective and ethical way of communicating. Simply put, when it comes to convincing someone, there is information that appeals to the logical part of the brain and information that appeals to the intuitive part of the brain. As our world is getting more overloaded, it's that intuitive part of the brain that is in charge of most decisions. The problem is that most professionals who don't know the science continue to develop persuasive appeals that rely on the logical part of the brain of their audience to process them. As this is getting less and less in charge, their communication ends up creating more uncertainty in their audience, who then push back from what you are proposing or requesting. They decide not to decide. Your team experiences that as a no, and it feels like convincing other people is getting harder. And it is, if you keep aiming your communication at the logical part of the brain, which is less and less in charge of decisions. Makes perfect sense. I think it's painful to realize how much success is slipping through the fingers of professionals and companies, which, by just ethically raising the right facts, would not have been lost. That is why I'm so passionate about sharing and teaching this. When it comes to convincing other people, I bet your staff have already done training. But when you ask them, they often don't use any of it because it bothers their conscience. They don't like treating people like that. I hear this all the time. What we teach is based on research. We care greatly about efficiency, helping organizations to make the smallest changes that produce the biggest results. And on top of that, this is more effective when used ethically. And that sits very well with your team members who embrace it and like using it at work and at home, which is a nice motivator to learn. I look forward to connecting with you and discuss how ethical persuasion can have the biggest impact for your organization, and to work together to find out how this knowledge is best delivered and cultivated within your team. I offer detailed courses, but this may not be the best start for your team. Instead, I can deliver keynotes that build on each other and which can be expanded into 2-hour, 4-hour, or full-day application workshops where team members have time to digest and come up with application strategies for your business and bounce those ideas off me. I can even take on an active role within your business to help implementation of the strategies that you and your team develop. Stop doing without the science. Reach out to me if you like, or book a discovery call using the buttons on our website and put yourself on my calendar for a chat. I wish you an influential future in which you'll hear yes more often.